Happy Thanksgiving and welcome to another episode of Cooking with Chef Neat. Today we are going to do a little holiday edition. I was not planning to record, so as you see, I'm not all glammed up, but I decided to go ahead and record this because this is my second time cooking Thanksgiving dinner and I'm super excited. So first up, we got my spiral ham that I'm going to create a honey chipotle glaze for later on. But for now, we're just going to cut this out of the wrapper and prepare it for the oven. I actually cooked my ham for 2.5 hours at 250. I'm over here watching Billy Sorrell's crazy ass talk to this woman with these big old booties. But anyway, it's almost time to put our ham in the oven. So again, 250, okay? I'm gonna cook it on 250. So you do wanna wrap and cover your ham to make sure that it doesn't dry out. And we're gonna put that bad baby in the oven for 2.5 hours. See you later. All right, candy yams, baby. So this is the one item that I did not prep because I wanted to find a mandolin. So now we are getting ready to skin our candy yams and we're going to slice them and get them ready so we can put them in the oven. Now before I peel my candy yams, I like to wash my yams off in a sea salt water. And that just helps me get all the dirt and all the germs. And if there's any bugs visible, then it clearly will get the bugs off. But sea salt water is how I scrub and clean my sweet potatoes. So now that we got them peeled, we are getting ready to slice them with the mandolin. So yeah, what you want to do is you're going to cut, of course you're going to cut the ends of your sweet potato off because nobody wants that part in their yams. Okay, and then I'm going to slit it in half so that way it makes it shorter and it makes it easier to slide across the mandolin. So this is my first time using this handheld mandolin, so that's why you see me trying to read the instructions and I am struggling here, but I eventually caught on to it and went ahead and sliced all of the sweet potatoes off camera, and that's just because they were kind of tough, so I didn't feel like doing a bunch of struggling on camera. So here we got these beautiful slices thanks to this gorgeous mandolin. But now let me do the rest of my potatoes, okay? So voila, we are back and I have my pan full of potatoes. So later on I'm going to make the sauce and then we will come back. So now it's mac and cheese time, which mac and cheese is really simple to make. The hardest part is making the cheese sauce for the inside, but I'll show you how. So we're gonna go ahead and put our noodles on to boil, and then I'm gonna let you watch the rest of the process, okay? Alright, so now that our noodles are done cooking, we are going to prepare the noodles for the pan. So first I want to coat my noodles in some good old butter slices, so about 4 butter slices. Okay, so now I'm going to add a little bit of the cheese to the noodles just to kind of coat it. So here I have triple cheddar. Okay, so we are going to pour about half of the bag into the noodles, and then we're just going to stir that up. Okay, just kind of give the noodles a good nice coating before we put it into the pan. Now, once I add it to the pan, we are going to go back and create the actual cheese sauce base that's going to go on top of this, okay? So just stay tuned. So now let's make the base of the macaroni and cheese. Okay, so I'm gonna use 2 eggs, some heavy whipping cream, some carnation milk, lots and lots of cheese, salt, and pepper. Okay, so just pay attention. So now it is time to add our base to our noodles that we coated with butter and cheese earlier. So I'm going to pour about half of this onto it, and then I'm going to work the cheese into the noodles and kind of get everything coated in the little bit of base that I added so far. And then we're going to add the rest of the mixture and stir in that cheese as well. Once I have this nice and mixed up, I am going to add a layer of, I believe, the Mexican mix of cheese on top. Then we're going to season it with some paprika, salt, pepper, and butter. And we are going to let that bad baby bake in the oven, okay? baby. Yes, time to move on to my favorite collard greens, honey. Now, we like to do our collard greens meatless over here. So I'm going to show you how I flavor my broth to make sure that we have a pack full flavor packed collard greens, okay? So first I like to add my olive oil to the pan because we are going to sweat our onions. Now while my onions are sweating, I am going to season them, okay, with the same seasoning that I'm going to add to my greens. Now this lets the flavors infuse with each other before you add the broth, okay? So that way, I don't know, for me, it just gives it a very strong flavor when you do it this way, okay? Alright, so here's a glimpse of how my sweated seasoned onions look right before I add my beef broth in, okay? Smells so good. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to our yam sauce as promised. So this is basically what gives our candy yam the candy flavor that we all love about candy yams, okay? So let's get busy. So now that our yummy candy sauce is ready, let's go ahead and prepare our pan for the candy yam. So you see me cutting up some butter that I'm going to place at the bottom. Then I am going to take the sliced yams from earlier and kind of layer them into the pan. But I'm going to do them in sections so that I can add the candy sauce to make sure that everybody gets a nice little piece of the candy sauce, so that when it melts and expands into the pan, every single yam will have its own flavoring, okay? So keep watching. Now let's make this chipotle honey glaze, which I actually cheated because it came with its own brown sugar glaze. So I'm just going to add some chipotle and some red pepper seasoning to it to kind of spicing it up. My dad loves spicy, and this glaze actually was a little too sweet, especially for me. So yeah, we're going to spice it up a little. So now it is time for me to go ahead and take my little hammy ham out. And then we are going to add the glaze because it is the last 20 minutes of the heating of this ham, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and pour the glaze on top and put it back in the oven for the remaining 20 minutes. and we lit. So let's check on these collard greens. Hey, so let me see, make sure they're not too tough, they're not too mushy, they're not too salty. So now we're gonna bake our turkey wings, which I prepped 2 days ago. So now I'm gonna put everything in, including the turkey wings, the mac and cheese, that is the yams, and we're gonna let everything bake, okay? We're gonna turn it up. All right, so the turkey wings are almost done. So now let's go ahead and make the gravy. All right, so I'm gonna make the gravy, baby, using this beef stock. I'm gonna use a little bit of all-purpose flour, some good old heavy whipping cream, green onions. I don't know why I brought the celery out, but we're not using the celery, okay? But I got some butter. And then we are also going to be using some onions, okay? So gravy is really easy to make. So first we're going to melt our half a stick of butter. And then once the butter begins to melt, we saute our vegetables and kind of get them to release some of their flavor and to kind of soften up. All right, once you sweat the vegetables, you add a little bit of flour to it because that is going to thicken the rest of the liquid that we're going to add to it. All right, so then once you have the flour mixed into the vegetables and it gives you a nice roux, you're going to add in your beef broth, okay? And then once you stir that up and kind of get everything mixed together, because it is going to be a little clump to clump. Once everything blends together, you're going to go back and add the heavy whipping cream to kind of give it some texture. Okay, and then you're going to season it to flavor. So add some salt, add some pepper, add some onion powder, some garlic powder, some Creole seasoning, whatever you like, okay? now that the turkey wings are done browning, it is time to add our gravy mixture on top of them so that we can bake them for about 10 to 15 more minutes and allow the gravy to soak into that meat so we get a real good tender, juicy, smothered turkey wing. The first thing I want to do before I add my gravy mixture is to kind of drain some of this fat and this water out of the pan, because I did add some water to my pan to make sure that my turkey wings didn't dry out, okay? Baby, yes, this brings back memories. These turkey wings were so damn good, y'all. Whew. All right, let's move on to our cornbread dressing. We are almost at the end. We just got to make our cornbread muffins, make this cornbread dressing, and then we are all done, okay? So the dressing has multiple steps, but we are going to start by breaking down the cornbread that I made 2 days ago. I left it out to dry, and it is now ready to be mixed into this cornbread dressing. All right, so once that is done, I believe we are going to sweat our vegetable mix that's going into this. So our celery, our onions, and I think I put a little bit of green onion in there as well, okay? Just keep watching. All right, so now that the cornbread is broken down, you also want to add either 1 pack of, I believe it's the stovetop stuffing mix that comes in a box, or I bought this Pepperidge Farm herb season mix. So I use half of the bag to add to my cornbread seasoning. To my cornbread mixture. Just kidding. So bone broth will be added, cream of chicken, cream of celery. Okay, some chicken bouillon seasoning, which I'm going to crunch up, okay? Because they really want you to use poultry seasoning, but I didn't feel like buying anything extra. So yeah, we have our green peppers that I have diced. We have some celery that is diced. And I have my onions, which I sliced, but I'm going to dice it up for the purpose of the stuffing. Lastly, I think I forgot to show you all that, we're going to add some green onion to it. Okay, I saved some of the turkey drippings from the turkey that I poured earlier. And then I also went ahead and shredded some turkey the other day to add to the dressing mixture, okay? So those are all of the ingredients that are going to go into my dressing. Whew, I'm super excited. It actually came out very, very delicious, so I cannot wait to type up this recipe because it was banging. Okay, so now we're gonna sweat our veggie mix real quick just to give it a little more flavor. Kind of bring out the flavors of the vegetables and let them infuse into each other before we add it to our dressing mixture. I'm about to say sesame seed mixture. I don't know why. Crazy. Now this part of the video is a little bit off, but I went ahead and added the butter to the cornbread mixture because it was starting to melt. So you're gonna see me mixing the cornbread here, but we're gonna come back to the cornbread muffins in just a second, okay? But enjoy the view anyway while you have the opportunity. Okay, back to the cornbread dressing. So yeah, let's go ahead and finish sweating this out so we can add it to our dressing mixture. So while we wait for the vegetables to finish caramelizing, we will go ahead and add all of the wet ingredients to the mixture and have that mixed up and ready. So I'm gonna go ahead and add my seasoning, my dry seasonings first. Then we're gonna add all of our liquids on top. That includes the chicken broth, the cream of celery, the cream of chicken, and then we're gonna mix everything up. Then we're gonna add our stewed or sweated vegetables on top, okay? Then we're gonna mix that in. So just keep watching, you'll see me working it, okay? So lastly, we are going to add 2 whisked eggs to our dressing mixture. But one thing I do want to point out is at the beginning, I told you to add half a bag of the Pepperidge Farm herb seasoned dressing mixture. But in the video, you will also notice that I only added half of, well, a quarter of the bag, okay? So for this reason is because after I add my egg, I go back and I add another quarter of the herb season mixture to it, so that way it coats the egg that I just put into the mixture and it all binds together, okay? The egg is basically acting as a binding agent, so I put the rest of the herb season mix around it just to kind of give it that crunchy flavor. It's not dried out, but you still kind of get some texture, okay? See me adding it right here. Alright, the official last stop. We're going to make these cornbread muffins, and then dinner will be complete and we can throw down. Now, although I started at 5 o'clock in the morning, I wanted to ensure that dinner was done by 12. So guess what? Your girl was definitely eating her dinner at 1 o'clock. Yeah. Yummy, yummy in my tummy. Them cornbread muffins are ready. Yes, they are gorgeous. So let's go ahead and take our cornbread muffins out as we wait for our stuffing. Voila, dinner is served. We got our peach cobbler, our good old macaroni and cheese, our meatless collard greens, our white rice. We got our good old honey muffins. We got our smothered turkey wings, our maple chipotle glazed ham, our stuffing, and these beautiful candied yams. Ooh. Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you so much for watching this. This was my very first time cooking for my father, who actually seemed to enjoy it. So I hope you enjoyed watching. Have a great holiday.